What's up, guys? One of my viewers, I believe her name is Ashley. I'll probably show it on the screen so you can know the exact question she asked. But she asked basically how to reduce an opponent's life points to 0 with one of the EarthBound Immortals, with Darkside Kessler to use Fudo. I forgot if this was a character unlock mission or one of the raid duel events, but either way, I'm going to show you guys how you can get this done. So a while back, I actually made a deck specifically for this. Because last year I was doing a bunch of character unlock missions so I can unlock every character in the game. I'm just doing it for fun. And this is one of the decks I actually made, I believe, for the raid duel events or for character unlock missions, because I was doing a lot of events and character unlock missions at the same time, so I cannot remember exactly which one it was for. I do remember this specific EarthBound Immortal I actually made the deck around because there was a lot of little objectives that required you to use him. So this is my deck I have, and to be perfectly honest with you guys, I haven't been playing Duel Links since I uploaded my last video like 3 or 4 months ago. It's been a minute since I played Duel Links. I'm actually just hopping back up here just to answer this question. But first of all, I at least have one copy of this EarthBound Immortal. You probably only have one copy because it's very difficult to get your hands on like more than one. And they usually give them out during the events or from a character unlock mission. So I believe if you unlock like Colin Kessler or like Carly and her Dark Signer form and stuff, they actually give out EarthBound Immortal, like a one copy of each, because I actually have a copy of the other 2 EarthBound Immortals. Essentially, the first thing you want is a field spell. It could be any field spell. I particularly like to have a field spell that gives you an advantage. It really doesn't matter, honestly, as long as it's a field spell. So it doesn't even have to be useful, but I recommend it to be useful so you could at least have some use for it and not really have a dead card in your hand. So I put Sorcerer Spell Wall. It's a great default spell card, field spell card, because it allows you to gain 300 attack during your turn and gain 300 defense during your opponent's turn. So if you got opponents with high attack monsters and you just need that little extra defense to squeeze you through the turn, it's a great card. If you need that little extra attack to squeeze you through the turn, it's a great card. Don't need any equip spell cards, don't need any monster effects. It's all taken care of in this one little card right here. So it's a great little default field spell card. I had 2 Cup of Aces. Cup of Aces is a really big gamble card. So if you want to substitute this for any other draw card, by all means be my guest. It's just Cup of Aces is the easiest and most accessible to use. So you're really heavily gambling with this. But since this is a character unlock mission, you're not going to fight a real person. You're going to fight a CPU. So, you know, you can take as many times as you need to be. So it's really not you counting on, oh, I have to win this first try. If you lose, it's okay. You can restart over. You might get both of the Cup of Aces and ends up landing on heads and end up drawing 2 cards. So, you know, definitely test your luck with Cup of Ace. Also, I highly recommend to use continuous trap monster cards. I actually got these from the card traders, Tiki Soul and Statue of Anguish Pattern. You can get these from the card traders. It took me about a week or 2 to collect 3 copies of all of these guys. Swamp Monster I've already had 3 copies of since like 2 years ago. Really like Swamp Mirror. You can throw him in a lot of decks. Really good versatile card. Essentially what Statue of Anguish Pattern can do is you can put him up in face-up defense. He's 2,500 defense on the field. Now, yes, he can sometimes be a dead card on the field to where you can't really use him, but he's also a great card destruction to get out for free. You don't have to substitute any monsters, you don't have to use any resources. This one card, if you literally just flip him up on the field and you have another version of him or another trap card up while you flip him up, you can destroy any one card on the field. So if you want to destroy one of your cards, if you want to destroy one of your opponent's cards, it's great. So you can use it to your advantage for both sides. A lot of cards have it to where you only can destroy one of yours or your opponent's. You can do either. You can destroy any one card on the field. So it's super useful if you have like a bunch of cards, you're trying to get rid of one so you can do a combo play. Statue of Anguish is great. It's a great staller. Most likely your opponent's cards won't go over 2,500 attack. So if you need this on the field, it can literally last you the entire match. So it's great to at least have one of these. Swamp Mirror, you can never go wrong with it. You can substitute this for any material you need. If you have a deck or a card that you want to substitute that requires you declaring a monster type or attribute, throw Swamp Mirror in there. It's a great guy to have. Kind of speaks for himself. Level 4, 1800 attack defense, great default stats for a level 4 monster. Then you got Tiki Soul. Really good trap card. If another trap card you control will be destroyed by a monster effect, you can set this card in a spell and trap zone instead. So it's a really good card to have. if you don't want another one of your cards getting destroyed. Now, as far as other draw cards, put Jar of Greed in there. Really good default card to have as far as stalling out when you're fighting CPUs. Jar of Greed makes you go hand neutral. So essentially you're playing a 17 card deck, and let's say you were to get heads on at least one of these, you're technically playing a 15 card deck. You get heads on another one, that's a 13 card deck. You're literally increasing your chance to like a near 70, 80, 90% of drawing the cards you want. So just throw these cards in there just so you can draw into the other cards you need. You don't really need anything else except, you know, Jar of Greed or any other draw cards you need. And as far as the last card, EarthBound Deity, this is really good. Basically, this will partner very well with Statue of Anguish, because while he's on the field, this is another great reason to have him. You will get one EarthBound Immortal counter per turn. So if you had 3 of these on the field, you will get 3 counters. So essentially in 2 turns, you can bring out an EarthBound Immortal. And if this card has 4 more counters, you can send it to the graveyard and special summon 1 EarthBound Immortal from your deck. So if you're really struggling to draw into EarthBound Immortal, this is why it's really good to at least have 1 copy, because if you have 3, you could have 1 in your hand, and you don't want to draw all of them to your hand. So just keep 1, so then most likely you get stuck in the deck. And then if you end up having to stall out with Statue of Anguish, leave them up for like 3 to 4 turns, depending on how many you have out on the field. And then you could special summon him with the EarthBound Deity. So it's just another way of bringing out EarthBound Immortal. So technically, if you want to count this as like 4 copies of EarthBound Immortal, because essentially they're going to bring it out for you. Now it's going to take a while, but like I said, we're not fighting humans, we're fighting CPUs. So these cards do not need to be highly competitive. As long as they get the job done, it's perfectly fine. As far as the skill I have Seal of Immortal. Seal of Immortal is until the end of your opponent's turn, it cannot be destroyed by its own effect. Why this is useful is, let's say you have a really bad draw and you cannot draw into any field spokes card like Sorcerer Spellwall, because that has happened to me before. You need this effect, because all EarthBound Immortals have this effect to where if there's no face-up field spell cards, they will destroy themselves. And if you're fighting against Yusei Fudo or sometimes other CPUs who decks do not revolve around a field spell card, you're gonna need that effect for him to at least stay on the field for you long enough to get an attack in. Because let's say he has 3 monsters on the field, you need him to at least stay up there for 1 or 2 turns if you don't have any other monsters on the field. So it's really good to have. Once you get him out on the field, it's really nothing else to do. None of your opponent's monsters are going to be able to do anything, so you can just kind of just beat them all up and then pretty much win in like 1 or 2 turns. As long as they have sufficient attack or no monsters on the field, you're good. Pretty much that's it to the deck. Really, it's just centered around drawing into EarthBound Immortal or drawing into a card that can summon EarthBound Immortal, or a card that can stall out till you get out EarthBound Immortal. So the deck is just drawing into EarthBound Immortal. Super simple. You can substitute any of these cards for other cards that you need. I might put recommendations on the screen for you of other cards you can substitute them out for, but essentially that's how it works. I'm gonna go into an actual match and show you how the card works in real time. So I'm not 100% sure what level we're supposed to fight Yusei at, but just to be safe, level 30. You can never go wrong with level 30. It's usually the default for a lot of missions. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but level 30 is safe. So I'm gonna fight him at level 30. I don't need the rewards all the way up, so we'll just do it by default. Alright, so my hand is decent, really decent. Okay, so I could put a Sorcerer Spellwall on the field. Really good. I have a Statue of Anguish, and then I also have an EarthBound Deity. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down all 3 of these. I'm going to summon Tiki Soul. Once I summon Tiki Soul, we're going to summon Statue of Anguish. That's going to allow me to destroy 1 card on the field. I'm going to summon and destroy that back row or either his monster, depending on the situation. Then we're going to flip up EarthBound Deity, so on my next turn, I already have 1 counter. And hopefully we won't draw into EarthBound Immortal. And essentially, you guys will see how this works, basically. But I'm going to go ahead and show you. Alright, perfect. So he summoned Junk Synchron. He's probably going to go into a Synchro Summon. So, what we are going to do, we are going to summon Tiki Soul. Put him in defense position. He's going to have pretty good defense. Then we're going to summon Statue of Anguish. I'm going to get rid of his Junk Synchron, just to keep him from Synchro Summoning. And we're going to flip up the EarthBound Deity. Boom. Get the Activate Statue of Anguish Patterns effect. So, we're going to get rid of... that. I do not need that on the field. It's going to ruin my plan. Boom. This is actually kind of fun fighting this deck too, because I used to use a lot of junk, because Yusei Fudo is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character. Okay, boom. You get to activate it. Put him right back in there. Alright, so now I'm going to get 2 counters, because I already have 2 monsters in defense position. Perfect. Now I can also reactivate Statue of Anguish Patterns effect. It's really good because you can keep doing this loophole wise if you can keep resummoning Tiki Soul in case your opponent destroys Tiki Soul. That's another great option I forgot to mention, as you guys could already see here. So we're going to get rid of another back row monster. I'm not scared of his monsters, I'm just trying to get rid of his back row in case he has anything that's useful against us. And we'll just keep holding out until we can get an EarthBound out. Alright, perfect. So we're going to go ahead, put him back row. Alright, perfect. As long as I don't draw into an EarthBound, we're straight and we can go ahead and end this match. Alright, perfect. So, we are finna summon EarthBound Immortal. I'm gonna actually substitute him. I'm not gonna summon him. Alright, perfect. Boom! Bring out EarthBound Immortal. Perfect. So as you guys can see, they're pretty much done. If I destroy any one of these monsters, he's pretty much dead, because I inflict damage to them and then their attack is going to be inflicted right back at them. So I'm going to just destroy Junk Synchron. Boom. Boom. Then we'll wait out to next turn and I'll destroy another one of his monsters. The objective was just to reduce your opponent's life points with 0 with an EarthBound Immortal. So as long as I destroy one of his monsters and it inflicts attack damage, that's fine. I do apologize, but the audio had cut out. I think it got corrupted towards the end, but essentially I just used the EarthBound Immortal. I attacked into the 1800 attack monster, and then I was able to inflict 1800 points of effect damage and destroy him. Essentially, that's all you need to do. As long as you destroy the last monster and inflict the last remaining life points with the EarthBound monster, you should be good and you should win that challenge that you're going for. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you for checking out the video, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.